Hello, I'm Annie Pace, and we're here at the Florida Museum of Natural History with the Blue Path exhibition. Florida is actually one of the wettest places on the planet. In fact, if you look at Florida's latitude on the globe, you'll see that almost every other place in our latitude is now desert. But Florida is still water rich. And this is because we have warm ocean currents and a wonderful Floridan aquifer flowing right under our feet. In the northern part of Florida, we have more freshwater springs than anywhere else on Earth. And so we wonder, how did one of the wettest places on the planet come to face such water shortages? The late Wes Skiles was working with us on the Blue Path. Wes was one of the most well-known cave divers and filmmakers in the world, and yet he lived right here in North Florida. He loved the Florida Springs, and he took his cameras down into the Floridan aquifer where we had never been before. He showed us how each one of our 700 artesian freshwater springs is really a window to the aquifer. And he also showed us how our water is now in trouble and how our springs are really the canaries in our watery coal mine. Our naturalist photographer, John Moran, visits the Ichetucknee River every year, and he took these two pictures in the exact same location, not too many years apart. This photograph is really the showstopper in our exhibition because it shows what has happened to the springs and to the Ichetucknee River not too far from here in just this short amount of time. Here you can see that the eelgrass and the color of the spring is very healthy and vibrant. And here you can see that the eelgrass has really, it is no more, and it's covered with algae, and the water is very cloudy and murky. And that's because we have damaged our aquifer and our springs to the point where they're in serious decline. There are three simple reasons why our springs and our aquifer are degrading quickly. A lot of growth has come to Florida, and we're doing three things. We're over-tapping the groundwater, we're taking too much out, and we're not putting enough back in. We're also putting too many nutrients back into the aquifer, and those include things like septic waste, fertilizers, and pesticides. And that's really the triple whammy. That's why the Floridan aquifer and the springs are in serious trouble. All of the experts agree that we have about 3 years in which to make a serious impact. And so when I asked them, what's the one message that we could get out to all Floridians, one thing that we could do to have a serious impact, all of the experts agree that we should look at the water that we're putting into sod and into our yards. If you look at this chart, you'll see that drinking water in our households makes up just 1% of our water use. But if you're someone who has a yard that you're irrigating and putting pesticides and fertilizers into, 52% of your water usage is going to that yard. And actually now we know that even as far away as Jacksonville, the population of Jacksonville is tapping the underground aquifer and now pulling water from as far away as the Ichetucknee River. And so the Ichetucknee River is down by 20%. And that is what's causing that disparity between the two photographs that we just saw that John Moran took in the Ichetucknee River. So there is a lot of good news, and the good news is that we have the expertise and we know what to do. And so we hope that you'll come to the Florida Museum of Natural History and look at this wall and read the story of Florida's water and join with us, put yourself on the Blue Path and become part of the effort to find new ways of living sustainably with Florida's water resources.